This chapter will acquaint you with
different modules in RAST Win, connections between modules in RAST Win.
Each user is allocated a username and a password from the System Manager. Click on the program icon in the RAST Win folder to start the RAST Win program.
This is the RAST Win main screen.
We will first show you the Technical Description submenu. In the window there are three submenus. Technical accounts identify individual functions and locations that act as an information carrier between various registers and modules in the program. The two main purposes of the technical account number are to act as a function ID in cases where one or more pieces of equipment may be installed, to serve as a plain function or location such as tanks, superstructure, etc.
Technical Accounts Plan is a collection of all technical accounts.
The Technical Accounts Plan is cross-referenced with the Finance Accounts Plan for budgeting and cost control purposes. The tree window illustrates the structure of the Technical Account Plan. To search for a specific technical account, you can descend the tree structure by clicking on the yellow folder icons. These are labeled with numbers that correspond to various items. To find the item you are looking for, simply find the correct number. You can, for example, search for technical account AE cover number 651.01 this way. You have found the cylinder covers technical accounts. You can also enter a new technical account by clicking on the new icon in the upper left corner of the RAST main screen. Please enter a new technical account number 652.01. You can also change the critical code by double-clicking on New Technical Account and once on View Detail icons. Click on the Toggle List Tree Display submenu under Technical Accounts on the menu bar to switch between the two window modes. In the list mode as shown in the window, there are search selection facilities using technical account numbers, technical account names and/or criticality. You can select the search criteria and then click on one of the sorting buttons, A to Z or Z to A. For example, we can search technical account we recently entered into the system, 652.01.
The fields accept wildcard expressions as search criteria. A question mark character represents any one character, and an asterisk sign represents any number of characters in the expression.
In RAST Win, it's possible to activate a number of text fields for all technical accounts for a vessel. To display them, you must use the View Details icon with technical account from the tree or the list.
Text fields are designed to carry extra information about usage, specifications, testing, etc. of technical accounts. Different vessels may use different text fields.
You can add new or remove old text fields for each vessel using text fields options from the program menu.
You can remove text fields or add text fields here.
The module Spare Parts in RAST Win contains tools for checking and maintaining spare parts on board.
RAST Win Spare Parts module contains 5 submodules. The first one is called Material List.
RAST Win has a material list catalog under the Spare Parts module for the registration of parts and materials that undergo normal purchasing routines regarding selection of suppliers, etc.
Note that spare part detail should only be inserted or updated from the office. This is because the same specifications are used by multiple users, that is, multiple components on multiple vessels, etc. From the material list, it's possible to search on particular parts or material. Please enter search string AE.
To view the spare part particulars, double-click on the Part menu. Here you will find information about this spare part, its suppliers, prices, etc. For more information you can use tabs, marked with red box. RAST Win operates with predefined store locations. To view established store locations on each vessel and/or shore-based warehouses, etc., you must first select Store List. Then click the search icon. You can also type any search string before that.
This form contains the store list. That is, a list of all defined store locations in the database.
The store ID, Shore1, should be accessible from all vessels and identifies a store location for spare equipment components available for all vessels.
In addition to the Transaction tab, under each spare part in the Material list, RAST Win has a list of material transactions. This list is updated either from purchases received and work done reports or by direct material issues.
RAST Win contains a special feature for viewing and updating the quantity of the spare parts on hand.
This can be practical for updating the inventory values, for instance in connection with stock counting, to ensure that the registered quantities correspond with the physical quantities in stock.
In order to optimize planning routines, a tool list is included in the system. The module makes it possible to keep track of important tools to ensure that special tools required for a job are available when the job is to be carried out.
This form contains the tools list, that is, list of all tools defined in the database. Tools might be connected to scheduled jobs and work orders.
The master catalog is used for the registration of parts, materials, where the supplier has been defined, normally based on a framework agreement.
When a part from this catalog is entered into a PO, the supplier data will be incorporated. The master catalog for the vessel is updated from the office system and may be used for direct purchases from the vessel.
The master catalog has selection and search facilities. You can conduct a search by entering one or more of the search fields above the list, such as part ID and name, material type, and class supplier's ID and address. This window shows a list of parts with useful information, such as price, minimum permissible stock, reorder stock level, maximum intended stock, etc. The work module in RAST Win contains all the necessary records to check, plan, and report maintenance activities. The master catalog is used for the registration of parts and materials in which the supplier has been defined, normally based on a framework agreement. The module also has selection and search facilities. You can conduct a search by entering job ID, a short description, lead department, type, reason, and condition requirement denotations in the fixed data fields above the list, and also by clicking on the A to Z or Z to A button. Now we will search for all standard jobs related to auxiliary engines. Please type AE in the field, Job field.
RAST Win has a separate list for counters in the Work submenu.
We can view the list of counters after clicking on the search icon. These may be counters for variables such as running hours, liters, cubic meters, etc. Jobs that are counter dependent are linked to a counter when the job is registered. Counters may be registered and may be inserted and updated in this module. To view the counter's details, we must double-click on counter AE1. RAST Win identifies identical pieces of equipment by a unique identification code, Equipment ID. To enter the master equipment list, you must select the proper option from the module Equipment menu. This form contains the master equipment list, that is a list of all the defined equipment, independent of the actual presence of the equipment in the database.
From this list, it is possible to search for a given type of equipment, equipment made by one particular manufacturer, etc.
Please search for cylinder cover for the auxiliary engine by typing cover in the field name. We will now connect relevant spare parts from the material list to a specific master equipment list. From the Equipment window, last chapter, we select Spares tab.
Now we open Material list. Substances.
The material list containing spare parts for auxiliary engine cylinder cover, which is the part ID that starts with AE-CYC-001, is the same as the master equipment ID. Now we will select all the parts by clicking on Records in the menu bar and then clicking Select All Rows or pressing Ctrl+A. And finally, while holding the left mouse button down, we drag the parts to master equipment. AE-CYC-001 spare list, and then release the button. Finally, while holding the left mouse button down, we drag the parts to the master. In the same way as we did with the spare parts, we can connect jobs to master equipment list. Here is an example. To connect documents to master equipment list, use the Documents tab and Documents list from the Modules menu in the same way as was done with the spare parts or jobs. You have now registered a master equipment list with a description, spare parts, documents and jobs. Now you can easily install the master equipment list any number of times. For example, you can drag and drop them into a technical account. The master equipment list detail, including related spare parts list, maintenance instructions, documents, etc., should only be considered to be copies of the manufacturer's instruction manual. The ownership of this information remains with the office and should only be updated from the office. The installed equipment list contains equipment presently in operation and spare equipment that is not in operation. We will now demonstrate how to install a master equipment list, including parts, jobs, supplier, documents, etc., into a given technical account function. After the verification of the master equipment list and relevant information, we will then be ready to install the master equipment list. Enter serial number 1001 for this piece of equipment in the serial number field and location cylinder 1 in the location field. Now we will open a technical account. Open technical account number 651.01 and drag and drop AE-CYC-001 to 651.01. The window Install New Serial Number will appear. Enter serial number 1001 for this piece of equipment in the serial number field and location cylinder 1 in the location field.
By pressing the Advanced button, you have option to enter additional information. When serial number and location are inserted, after clicking OK button, the system will prompt for counter ID and accumulated running hours for the equipment. If it's new equipment, the running hours is 0.
Substances.
The system will now prompt for the due hours for the standard jobs with counter interval connected to the master equipment. Evaluate the due hours, then click the OK button. For calendar-based jobs, the system will automatically set due date on given interval ahead. We have now completed installing AE-CYC-001 master equipment.
Click on Technical Account in the menu line and select Split Window, and then Installed Equipment.
The display shows a list of all equipment with defined serial numbers entered into the system.